Let me tell you a story about the youngest ever professor in Zimbabwe, of any color. Youngest ever professor, black or white or pink or yellow, of any color. One Arthur Mutambara, who graduated from University of Zimbabwe with a degree in engineering, went to Oxford, studied robotics, and then got his PhD from Oxford in robotics, and I can't remember what else. No, niche field, but he was professor by the age of 30. That's how good this man was and is. Arthur Mutambara, youngest ever professor. And this man made such an impression on my graduating class that even though I was studying physiotherapy at the University of Zimbabwe, we all went to listen to his lecture when he came back to Zimbabwe as the youngest ever professor at the age of 27 or something ridiculous like that, because he was just a prodigy, a prodigy. And did anyone ever talk about his color? No, it was just, this is Zimbabwe's youngest ever professor. It wasn't, this is Zimbabwe's youngest ever black professor. No, just the youngest professor. And he went on to have a illustrious career. Well, he's still enjoying that illustrious career. He's a visiting professor at MIT and other universities in America. But not only that, he served as vice president of Zimbabwe. He actually got involved in politics and rose to the high echelons of power, becoming vice president, serving well. I think there are many things that I would have disagreed with him politically, but on the whole, he was just a good man. This is a man to emulate. This is a man to follow after. Whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're Zimbabwean, whether you're Zambian, whether you're English, because he just went out there, put his talents and abilities to the full effect, and he's a builder. He's a builder. He looked at Zimbabwe and thought, we could do better. We can actually do better. Obviously, his efforts were crippled. They were impeded by the powers that be. But here was a person who was like, I'm intelligent, I've worked hard, and I can make my country better. Political forces and other obstacles impeded him, but he gave it a good shot. And right now he's still a professor of robotics, and he's building things. He's building things. Now contrast that to somebody like Jason Arday. Jason Arday, whose claim to fame is that he's the youngest professor, black professor, mind you, at 37. You know, he's got he's a decade too late on Arthur Mutambara. I don't know why we're fawning over him. Like, oh, Jason Arday and your eyeliner, aren't you great? Jason Arday, who could not speak apparently till he was 11, even though there's no proof of that at all. Jason Arday, who's made up things like he was comatose until 2 minutes before his final viva. He ran 600 miles in 6 days on a broken leg. I'm sure there'll be other revelations in due time, like he climbed Mount Everest solo with no help from anyone, without oxygen, and then he skied down on the way back. This man is just amazing. He's just amazing because not only can he do things that white people can't, he can travel back in time. He can travel back in time and appear in sociological programs that predate his birth. And I don't know why we're fawning over him. The only reason I can think of it's because people in this country hate Great Britain so much that anyone who rises up and has a sociological project that says Great Britain is terrible, they will fawn over him. They'll be like, oh, aren't we terrible? Aren't we terrible? Aren't we terrible? And there are white liberal women out there who want to mother Jason Arday. I'm looking at you, Jason. James O'Brien at LBC. Yes, you. You are a white liberal woman, frankly. You behave like someone with low testosterone and high estrogen. The way you hate this country, and the way you want this country to not to succeed. I don't know why Jason Arday got all the press that he's receiving, except that he's black, except that he hates Great Britain, and except that he seems not to be a man's man. Who puts eyeliner as a man? Unless if you're Alice Cooper or what's his face, Marilyn Manson. Who does that? Who does that and gets away with it? Jason Arday is a disaster. He's not a builder. He thrives on deconstruction. He thrives on deconstruction without the hatred of Great Britain that is prevalent amongst white, weak people in this country. Jason Arday would be nothing. He's played everyone who hates this country. He's played you. He's played you. Every white person who hates Great Britain has been played by Jason Arday. And it's sad to see. And when people like me object, it's like, oh, shut up, coconut. Shut up, coon. I don't know how to help you white liberals. If you're a woman, I don't know what you find attractive about Jason Arday. He is such a simp. And if you're a man, well, if you're a man like James O'Brien, you really aren't a man. You're just a woman with a beard, aren't you? Because your T levels are so low and your estrogen levels are up there. And it's unbelievable that people took him seriously. You know, the tales that he's been telling, these are the sort of tales that I would tell to my children. They're onto me now, but for a while I want to think they believed me. They didn't really. But when I was a young father and my kids knew very little about Zimbabwe and Zambia where I grew up, I used to tell them tales like, growing up, my uncle ran a farm and he had 3-legged chickens on that farm, which were very quick because they had 3 legs. We never knew how they tasted because they were too quick for us to catch. And I'd tell them that before I went to bed every night, my father would make me wrestle with crocodiles just to toughen me and to condition me for life. My kids found these funny, sometimes believable, but now they've grown up and they don't believe that sort of thing. But it appears white liberals are happy to take any tale by a black person, especially an oppressed black person. I'm missing a trick here. I should have been lying my way to the top. But there you are. Isn't it just sad? Isn't it very, very sad that white liberals will believe anything from black people so that they're not seen as racists?